Hello, I'm Ross, Managing Director of RCT Entertainment and Events, and welcome along to the Wedding Vault. Well, today we are answering the questions about wedding playlists. Now, this is another question which I get asked many times on an email or, in the initial inquiry. And then I explain to the couple and say, look, you don't need to give us a full-blown playlist. However, let's talk about it, shall we? So, for an example, when I get my inquiry through, some couples will ask me, we've got a very specific music taste and we'd like to supply you with a full playlist for the evening. So sometimes they're meaning pretty much 6 or 7 pages of A4 paper with all of their songs they want played in that order. Now, my recommendation to you is please don't do this. If you are booking a professional wedding DJ, that DJ will know and be able to create an atmosphere and a full dance floor for you pretty much 9 times out of 10. Now, let's be honest with you, in a wedding, there's so many different people in the room. They've all got different music tastes. And the key element is to make sure that every single one of them in that room pretty much will hear a song they might like or that type of music they enjoy. So they'll get up and have a boogie. And, most of the time there's specific songs which the dance floor will be absolutely rammed, and it's the key factors of keeping them on the dance floor and making sure it flows with the music, and we're swapping and changing the genres really nicely as well to create a great atmosphere. But the disadvantage of supplying a playlist to a DJ and you've told them that you want it played in this specific order is, and this isn't insulting your music taste because, we all have different music tastes, but what you'll find is as a professional wedding DJ, most professional wedding DJs will mix and flow the music throughout the course of the evening, and it will gradually build and build and build, and then by the end of it, we're all, hands in the air and going for it. And sometimes, if you don't understand about being a DJ, you could, for an example, put a song like a dance track from the 90s. Let's say, for an example, Robin S. Show Me Love. And then your next track could be Wheatus, Teenage Dirtbag. Now, that to me is already called in, that's not going to work. We're not in the right vibe there. It's Robin S. into Live, Enjoy, Dreamer, something like that. So it all flows nicely. And the disadvantage of having that playlist within the order which you may have given the DJ is you'll find that the atmosphere of the room could go from here to there within seconds. And then your dance floor empties, and then you might go back a few songs later and then your dance floor comes. But the aim of the game is to keep them on the dance floor all night long. And that is the disadvantage of supplying a wedding playlist. And when we're saying wedding playlist, I mean full-blown 7-8 pages long of songs. But what we do, and what most other DJs do as well, is we offer a unique username and password which allows you to log into an event planner and create a small wedding playlist. Now, we've limited it down to about 20 songs of must plays. So these are the songs that you really love as a couple, because that's important. You want to hear those 20 songs which mean something to you and you love and you're going to get up and dance to. And then we do not plays. So maybe if you're one of those, and I hope you are one of those who hates Cha-Cha Slide and Macarena, you put that on your do not play and that will not be played. Then you've got dedications as well. So if you've got some Pacific songs which are dedicated to maybe your mum, your dad, your brother, whoever that may be, because that's their favourite song or that's what they're renowned to dance to, then we'll play them. But we'll put them in and play them at the right time. And that's what's key about a wedding playlist, is just providing up to about 30 or 40 songs of those songs which you love as a couple and some of your guests might love as dedications as well. And then we'll play them throughout the course of the evening where they are best fitted. Now, some people have also, I've come across this, where they've gone on their wedding invites and they've put request a song for the DJ. And then, they reply, oh yes, I'm coming to your wedding. My favourite song is Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. Beautiful song. Love that song. But is it going to fit rightly with your wedding day? When are we going to play that? Yeah, I might play it in a very slow section, maybe towards the end, but I can't remember the last time I played that song. Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. But, the disadvantage of doing that where you ask your guests for a song before the party is we get all weird and wonderful songs come out of the woodwork. And you just know as a professional wedding DJ, these songs are not going to work. They're not going to get the people up on the dance floor. So that is something I would definitely avoid. Now, requests on the night, that is something we are absolutely 100% in. We always accept requests. But what we do say is if they are on your do not play list, then we will not play them. And what we'll firstly say is, oh no, sorry, we can't play that this evening. And then if they come back again, we'll maybe consult with you and it's on your do not play. Cha Cha Slide, for an example. And then we'll turn around and say, sorry, the bride and groom have requested that Cha Cha Slide is not requested. Then after that, we don't hear anything else because it's your day, it's about you. And if you don't want to hear that song, we're not going to play it. And that's something I don't like, is cheesy music. But as professional DJs, if it's something you want, we will play it because that's what it's all about. Now, with regards to other little bits and bobs where you get, a specific... I'll give you an example, actually. So I had a groom who specifically asked me for 90s rave music all night. Now, we're talking things like Darude, Sandstorm, Prodigy, all of that stuff, which, again, a perfect time for it is towards the end of the evening. If that's what your crowd are feeling, then yes, we'll do some raving tunes. But he wanted it all night. So I turned up to this wedding and most of probably 80% of the guests were over 60 years old. And I knew straight away that it was going to be, your 70s and 80s music with a few of the 2000s chucked in. I knew that would work. That would get them on the dance floor. So I started playing this 90s rave music and no one danced. They're all looking at me like this. What the hell's going on? And I just knew I needed to change the vibe. So I changed the vibe and managed to get them all up on the dance floor. Went to my usual stuff, the 70s, the 80s, because I knew that was what was going to work. And then the groom comes up and says, no, sorry, I don't want this. I'd like a 90s rave. So obviously they are paying. So I went back to the 90s rave music and no one danced all night long. So after this, I made it my ultimate goal that this is not what we do. We do not play a playlist which is 8 pages long in the order which you want, because let's be honest with you, you may as well have a Spotify playlist just playing in the background. And that's not what we're about. You're paying for a service for a professional DJ to read the room, get guests on the floor, play the music you love by a limited choice, and fit them in throughout the course of the evening when they're most suited best. So my advice to you is have a chat with your DJ. If that you are adamant that you want a playlist specifically played in your order, then there will be DJs out there who will do that. But my advice to you is any professional wedding DJ will be able to create a great atmosphere and use some of those songs in an order of their choice where they think they're most suited. So do your research, have a little look about, and think about those crucial songs which are important to you as a couple and maybe some of your family and friends, and then enjoy the evening.